Hi, I'm Shannon Cyr, and I'm the relationship coach for men. Today, we are talking about that moment when you realize your marriage is over. And I think this is an interesting topic because so many times, people that I work with kind of report back that they remember when they kind of knew it had ended. And so many of you know I work directly with Sharon Pope, and she had a client who told a story about the moment when she knew the marriage was over. And I think it's a really great analogy. And so I want to share that story with you. The client said that, she said that her marriage had been kind of like a chandelier. And that over the last 10 years, all these different things happened within the marriage that were damaging. And each time as those things would occur, one of the bulbs would go out in the chandelier, one by one. So, for example, when her husband had said that he was no longer attracted to her after about 10 years, one of the lights went out. The time that she caught him texting somebody inappropriately, another light went out. The day he got so angry at their son that he pushed him, a light went out. Every day that he would punish her by giving her the silent treatment, another light in the chandelier would go out. One time when he belittled her in front of her daughter, a light went out. When he began staying later and later at work and, only to come home and kind of excuse himself and go watch TV and not really speak to anyone anymore, another light went out. When he made fun of her for reading books to improve the marriage, or she suggested marriage counseling, she realized another light went out. And when she noticed that she was just consistently drained physically and emotionally by the marriage, that was the day that the chandelier just completely went dark. And she remembered that she caught a glimpse of herself in the mirror and just kind of said to herself, my marriage is over. So I think the reason, why this analogy is important is that we can all relate to this idea, of the chandelier. It doesn't matter here if you're the man or the woman, telling this story. It doesn't matter if the examples are exactly the same. We can take our own examples and put them in that place of where that bulb would be on the chandelier. So it wasn't like, that one day that last bulb went out, that there was a lot of anger or a lot of rage. There wasn't a huge event that caused the final light to go out. There really was just more of this like sadness and indifference over the truth that the marriage was just over, just knowing that it was done. There's rarely a moment of upheaval and a time that it just totally blows up all at once, and that's really what the chandelier example explains to us. There's many, many things over the course of time, I promise you, that lead to the blow up. These are the things that occur every day within the marriage. Marriages end slowly and gradually because of those small hurts and betrayals over the course of time. I know sometimes it feels like it ends in a big blow up or a big argument or a big storm of anger and rage between the two of you, but I promise that doesn't just happen overnight. What happened is that there's so many times that one or both of you felt abandoned or hurt or betrayed by the other person. And just at the time, maybe it didn't seem like it was big enough of a problem really to end the marriage. But the problem is that those small instances add up over time to something really meaningful, to something larger and something really significant, to the point where the disconnection between the two of you grows and grows so that you don't really even recognize it anymore. And at some point, you come to the realization that the marriage is over. And that's what happened on the day that last light went out in the chandelier. So when there's hurt and guilt and sadness and rejection and resentment, that's really the time that we need to pay attention and ask ourselves the question, today, the way that I feel in this marriage, is it over? And when you ask yourself that question, you'll know the answer not from your head, but from your heart. the question of, is my marriage over? It's not that easy to answer, right? You know, many of us we go looking for the 3-question quiz, you know, to tell ourselves that the marriage is over, or looking for a checklist that lets us know that it's time to leave or if it can be saved, you know. But it's such a personal decision and something that impacts your entire life and your family's life. So it's not something that you can answer through a simple 3-part quiz or filling out a checklist. You have to really be able to dig into that and navigate that and feel into it, and know that when the truth shows up for you, there probably won't be anger and rage and hatefulness, but really more of a feeling and an inner knowing that is just undeniable, that the marriage has just really reached the end. I hope that this was helpful for you and that it gave you some things to think about. If you like this video, please click the bell in the upper right corner to subscribe to my channel, as I come out with new information every week, just to help get you more clarity, more ideas about how you can really create change within your relationship, or to help you determine if it's time to move on and do so without regret. All my best.